Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of the Fantasy Fiends podcast, where we inevitably end up totally blitzed. Now, Stevie is not here, so we are all collectively pulling a prank on him in that at some point in the podcast, we are going to make up a rule that we established beforehand that makes him have to drink. If at any point in the podcast you feel like you can make up a rule that we established beforehand, drop it in the comments, and we will get Stevie to drink, because that's the whole point of this episode, is making Stevie drink when he doesn't deserve to. It's what he gets for showing up late. You know, punctuality is important. So today we're talking all things drunkenness, which really, you know, we're going to try to sound intelligent, but we're going to fail. So we're going to start off by talking about stuff. And then as we devolve into madness and drinking, we'll play some games. So we're going to go around, introduce the super awesome authors that I have with me, starting with Mr. Benjamin himself.
Hello, I'm Ben Galley. I'm an epic and dark fantasy author, currently residing, or I should say lurking, in Victoria, in Vancouver Island, but originally, hence the accent, from the UK. I'm the author of the Emaneska series, Chasing Graves series as well, and General Mischief Maker and Drunkard tonight. That's me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Matthew.
Hey, I'm Matt Presley, right under MD Presley. Soul's Harvest. It's Flintlock Fantasy. This is some pictures in the back if you're, visually podcasting right now. And I'm Texan living in California, and that's about it.
Very cool. Angel.
Hey, I'm Angel Hayes, epic fantasy author. I have my husband with me today. Oh, fuck, it's the wrong way. That way.
That way.
One or the other.
The other half of the dynamic duo.
Very good. The husband. Introduce yourself.
My name is Slade Sewell. I'm Angel Hayes' better half, and I write young adult fantasy with her and work on the Wormfire series together with her, and that's about it.
Very cool. And last but not least, Stevie's head.
Hey, I've brought Jesus too.
Space Jesus.
That's what's up, man. Space Jesus.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna lie, I did not plan that. I totally forgot about the freaking green screen again.
Hey, see if you can see through Jigsaw again.
Oh, dude, like I had to take off that freaking Facebook ad because people are just destroying me in the comments. I thought it would be funny, but they're just like, "No, you're just a retard." Like, it was just like, ugh.
For those of you who don't know, Stevie, the cover of his Jigsaw book is green. And so at one point he's playing around with the green screen effect and he holds it up in front of his face and says, "Can you see through this?" Without realizing that, of course, this is a solid book with, an inch of paper. And then he realized, and we're never going to let him forget about that ever.
I don't even know how you got that ad.
Dude, that happened live on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I did it as well for the Facebook ads. I did it multiple times. Like, I'm holding it doing a reading, and it's just, oh man, it's so embarrassing. It was a total fail. So I've actually been here for a while just watching you guys. Just wait, Slade, is that your real name?
Yes.
That's some BS. That's not fair.
It's such an author name. Today we're drinking, we're going to play games, but before we get into that, we'll try to have some sort of rational, intelligent discussion. And the one thing that I've loved talking about is the drunk scene that comes up in every single fantasy novel ever, or fantasy series, let's say, because it doesn't come up in every novel, but at some point in every series, the character goes to a bar. So either they get drunk or someone gets drunk and they get into a fight. What is it about that? About us fantasy authors that we love doing that?
Dwarves. Drunken dwarves. That's about all I can say. The prototypical ability to have a hero go in and have a party with drunken dwarves because they're the best at drinking.
Do you think it's like wish fulfillment? Like, we all kind of want to get into a bar fight at some point in our lives, but we can't actually do it, so we write it in.
Yeah. I just wanted to explore what my characters would do drunk, because I know the shenanigans that I've got up to when I've been drunk, or at least I think I do. I've been told most of them the next day, but I just kind of wanted to see what would happen if I took this, trying to think of one that I wrote in Scarlet Star Trilogy, where it's kind of almost a less medieval tavern, but more kind of like Western bar scene with the swinging doors and the guy in the black hat walks in and everything goes quiet. A bit more rowdier than that, but definitely the sort of, bar scene. And yeah, I just wanted to see what happens if I got this character and another character absolutely shit-faced. what they would do, and it was great fun. So yeah, I think it's just like you just want to explore that. It's a different stage of your character. Maybe flip the character on its head. Who knows?
Man, that's such a mature answer. Now I feel
I should get
bad.
more drunk. I'm sorry. I keep drinking.
But I think
you
Ben's
weren't
got a point though.
serious.
Like it's a storytelling, not cliche, but like it's definitely in westerns. Like westerns, bars exist for brawls, and I guess so that someone can play the piano, like and someone can get thrown through the piano and or window. Like it's definitely a mainstay of the western. And
then setting up the showdown at high noon.
oh yeah,
like,
I totally forgot about
Before that, they have to be in the bar, and then they go to the
right.
showdown.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I don't think it's a carryover from westerns, but like the way Ben hit it, like yeah, it's it's definitely. And like I remember in a gaming, I was GMing one time, and like the character was like, "Well, let's go to the bar." Like, why? Like, we want to get in a fight. Like, that is what bars exist for. Like, take us to the bar that we may beat up some NPCs. Carry on. Yeah, well, can't argue with that. That is correct.
I think it's kind of like a sanctuary as well. It's sort of familiar territory for the reader as well as being, the characters. It's like what's that line out of Shaun of the Dead where they just keep going to the Winchester because it's it's a home, it's safe, it's a pub.
Yeah.
It's warm, it's got big heavy doors and all that sort of stuff. So I think when you see that scene, the reader feels comfortable, but also the character can use it as a sense of sanctuary, refuge, familiar surroundings, that sort of thing. It's also the hub, isn't it? It's where all the gossip is, all the fun stuff happens.
That's true. And it's even like there's either the main character get drunk or some asshole gets drunk, and then the main character gets into a fight, like inevitably. I don't think I've read a single bar scene where there wasn't a fight, which I really feel there should be at some point in fantasy, just to sort of like flip that trope on its head. Someone walks into a bar and then walks out completely sober.
Everything is fine.
Sober and a fight are two different things, though. I have bar scenes where somebody gets in a fight.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I think for us, we have young adult fantasy, so a lot of our main hero characters are teenagers or younger people, so you wouldn't necessarily find them in a bar. When they're generally into a bar, they're not necessarily there to drink themselves. They're there just to, I guess they say circumstance. They're there because some quest took them there, or someone else they're supposed to meet is there, but they themselves did not want to actually go in there to get drunk. But yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, but that's only one though, right?
True, that's only one series, but yeah, for
mine is adult.
Yeah, yeah, and those they're just chaos in bars.
Well, you haven't even read it yet, so.
I thought y'all wrote like young adult.
We write that together, and then I write adult fantasy that goes a little bit darker and a little bit more adult with language and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand. And you guys have a kid, right? Y'all have two.
Two.
Yeah, they did the awesome Bizarre Blades commercial.
Yes.
That was fantastic. Like my entire family just went berserk over that. They liked it better than my commercial, which was some BS. But I mean, I think y'all's quality was a lot better too. I should use that for Facebook ads, Andy. Just like really play off the cute child thing,
It works.
Yeah, it's got to, right? It's got to. The first time I did a drunken character was actually the first short story I ever wrote. And it was just it's so like, he goes into the bar, he gets into a fight because no one will give him his information. It's, it's so overdone. And, my writing has changed considerably since then. I would never have let that happen. I would have made it a lot weirder.
I was going to say, everything you do is overdone.
Yeah.
You take weird and then you step it up.
Exactly. Well, that wasn't in this story, unfortunately. I was trying to, writing to market's important, but I took it, just writing something that wasn't really me. And now the last time I wrote a drunk character, actually, I don't do it a lot, was an assassin who got drunk, and it was like this alcohol stuff that you couldn't taste. And he nearly slept with a woman and then ended up cracking her head across something because she tried. It was weird because she couldn't get her way with him or something. But you asked me if I had any drunk characters, and it took the longest time. And I'm surprised. I feel like I would be someone who would write those scenes a lot. Andy, I think the first, when I read your it's not called the Hunter series.
Drink.
What?
There you go.
Before
There you go.
We
Caught.
made a rule before the thing that if you fucked up another author's name, book series name, you have to drink.
Oh, shit.
Drink, Stevie.
That was a good one. That was a really good one. What's it been? 10 minutes?
We came up with the rules beforehand, but you weren't here, so you're just gonna have to discover them as we go.
They're like, okay. Well, in your book series about a man named the Hunter, the first person he like just destroys are these people walking out of a bar.
Oh yeah,
Remember
really
that?
fun.
That was a really good scene. I mean, he annihilates them, Andy. I mean, he tried to walk away, but they said that one thing, and he's like, all right.
Yeah. And that scene was written in there just for the hell of it. Like it served no purpose towards the story at large. I mean, except for maybe showing that he doesn't let anybody see his real face. That's as close as it came. But it was
That's
just like,
right. That's right.
Let's kill some people in the beginning chapter.
Whoa. How strong did Lisa make that drink? It's like one of those things, like I've drank it like a minute ago and I still can't breathe.
What are we all drinking? Who's drinking
Yeah.
what?
I've got vodka
What is that?
cranberry with some
Moonshine.
caffeine. Because I need caffeine. But Ben,
Vodka.
nice to meet you. Matt,
You
nice
too.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Slade, pleasure.
Thank you.
Sorry I was
Such a
late,
cool
guys.
name. It's such a cool name.
That is some bull crap. I want to be. I should have came up with a better author name besides my real name.
Actually, the worst part is I went to go get a Twitter handle about this, and I realized there's already a motocross athlete that actually has this name too. So,
Are you serious?
yeah, competition for it.
I thought you were going to say like Slade had it already. Awesome. So what are these rules? I'm not allowed to know it all.
No.
You'll find out.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to find out as we go, Stevie.
By
Like,
discovery.
What, Ben,
That's
are
what
you
happened.
British? English?
I am English. Yeah, unfortunately. No, I'm joking.
I see you're the only one using the fancy glass to drink from.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of looking. I like it in a
So
proper glass.
Oh, he's got a little more.
Oh,
Well, you should have seen me. I was
Oh.
drinking from a
Matt's
wine.
got one
Oh,
too.
there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
and this
I was
one is
drinking
rimmed with
straight from a
cocoa.
wine bottle there.
So,
what is it
wait.
that you're drinking, Matt?
Me, I have got something I picked up there. Well, did you say Matt?
Yeah, I did, but I like seeing what you're drinking too.
There you go.
What is the name?
Sorry, Matt.
it's a stout fellow. It is a cocktail inspired by Alec Guinness, and so it's got 2 shots of Guinness and some black rum and coffee liqueur, creme de menthe, and served in a coupe glass with the cocoa on the rim. So
Man, making the rest of us look super like low class here. I'm drinking
man.
gin and tonic, and it's just like from
In
a
a plastic
cup, by
glass.
the way.
Is that
It's
a
the only
measuring
one
jug?
big enough for me.
fair enough. Well, I've got 2 more cocktails waiting in the fridge for whenever we get down to that. But yeah,
Impressive, Matt.
yeah. So like I've said before the show, like I've got a wet bar. So I've in the last month have learned to make a lot of cocktails, and I've had a lot of hangovers. Like it was. I wish I had this in my 20s. Unfortunately, the wet bar showed up when I could afford a wet bar, which is when you shouldn't have a wet bar. So
What's a wet bar? Is that different than just a regular bar?
yeah, but it's just a bar that has a sink in it. So that's the wet.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
I should have made up something so much better than that. Like it's it has a sink. Yay, wet bar.
Do some of those come with like taps on them and stuff?
Some of them might, but mine didn't. It was like just a sink, and if you turn it on too high, it just sprays out that way. So
Oh man,
better in conception than in actualization. But yeah, it's I have to put it to use.
is that your storyboard behind you?
No, it's my whiteboard. But yes, I use it for stories. But it's 8 feet long, so
Nice.
it's,
Whoa.
yeah, I know.
That's what I'd like. Yeah.
That is the Facebook post that I've gotten the most ever on. Was like, hey, I got a really long whiteboard. And it was like, cool. Like, I got books. I'm like,
What is your author name?
MD Presley.
Okay,
Is that
now
a
I know.
drink? Is that a
What?
drink? Is that a drink?
He didn't mess up the series title.
That is the drink. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. For sake, yeah, I'll be
Stevie, drink it.
I'm gonna have a hangover for sure tomorrow.
Absolutely. We can
I'm not going to
apologize.
get any words done later.
I have no food in me. I haven't had time.
That was a
to
bad
eat.
choice, Stevie.
I had no choice. I have a protein shake with me. That's it.
Do you need a minute to go and grab something to eat?
Crackers.
No, I'm good. Lisa's cooking, so we're having healthy pizza.
What does that mean? I'm dreading the.
Is that no pizza?
It's basically no pizza. It's so you use a regular tomato sauce and you take the calories into consideration. Then you use a wheat crust. You can use white because it doesn't really matter. And then it's really the cheese. So you get like fat-free cheese, tasteless cheese, garbage cheese, and
three different types of cheeses.
Yeah, it's just so it's like the any cheese that you can find that's fat-free. And
the cheese is like the least bad part of the pizza.
That's the way that the recipe said to do it. So I'm just trying to eat as somewhat clean during these hard times during COVID.
To clean eating.
Yes, to clean
Amen.
eating.
Yeah.
Who all wrote
right.
today?
Oh, I did.
Not you, Andy.
No, my plan was to do it after this with a bit of a buzz on, but I think this is going.
You think that's all you're gonna get?
I will just basically be asleep on my keyboard after this. If it goes the way I think it's going to go.
You can kind of like ride that edge, just like a sip of coffee here and there to sort of stay right on the edge of that,
Sure.
passing into unconsciousness thing. And you'll come up with some weird ass shit that may not make any sense for the current story, but it'll just be amazing for another story.
That's it. I did write something when I fell asleep once at my keyboard, and I fell asleep, but my fingers apparently carried on. Nothing good. I mean, we're talking a sentence and a half of absolute gobbledygook, but it was just that sort of like thing where I just fell asleep and just carried on twitching. And then woke up, and I was like, oh, who wrote this?
Gobbledygoo.
It was one of the weirdest like half an hour of my life because I just did not know what happened. I was in a complete, I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing that happened to me while writing was like my thumb started twitching like out of control. I got it on video too. It was like freaking me out, and I would just like pinch it and it would stop, and then it would just. Apparently, that happens to a lot of authors. I didn't know that, but
Really?
Some weird shit's been happening to me for the last couple of days. So I get like it's springtime here in Canada, and I get some nasty allergies to certain things, and so my head's been all clogged up. And I swear, my words look like puzzle pieces. I've been doing puzzles for the last couple of weeks during quarantine, and the last puzzle that I did, they were like the long pieces could only be put in sideways. They couldn't be put in, vertically, only horizontally. And I swear that my brain, with all the, the crap of my allergies right there in my forehead, it was just like making the words look like puzzle pieces. I was like half hallucinating that I was building a puzzle as I was writing. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Wow. Have you unlocked a new style of writing? Pantsing, planning, and puzzling.
Yeah, exactly. Did not go well, but...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes just like random weird shit happens to my brain when I'm writing, and I have to like, okay, stop, think what's actually happening. Okay, these are words. These are not, whatever, and then get back into it.
Oh man, that is peculiar. Never had that before.
I didn't know you did puzzles.
Dude, I kill puzzles.
God. I've never been like,
Yeah, total badass over here, slaying them puzzles right and left. They call me the
3,000 piece?
master. Yeah, actually, anything over 1,000 pieces is too long, and anything under like 750 is too short. It's the weirdest thing.
Small margin that you accept puzzles, Randy.
Absolutely. I just finished a 750 piece puzzle in 2 days. Like it was just not difficult. So the one I'm working on now, like 1,000 piece puzzles is kind of my sweet spot. When I was living in Mexico, I would like between my morning and afternoon writing shifts, I would take a break and I would spend like 30 minutes just working on a puzzle to give my brain a break. And I went through like 60 or 70 puzzles in the space of 2 or 3 years. Just putting in that time every day. It was great because I didn't have to think about anything other than the stupid little picture on that piece.
Nice. I've never been like, you know what I want to do right now? Just go do a puzzle. That's just not how my brain works. I video games. It's got to be something.
Yeah, it's something mindless. I mean, I understand like puzzles sounds like torture to me, but I'd play Sudoku like a fiend.
Exactly.
Is turning my brain off, and it's a rote like boop 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 boop, and I will play 60 games in a sitting, and so yes, I do get that. It's just puzzles are kind of no, cool.
it's just whatever sort of pattern your brain figures out. Like when I was before I had the internet, when there were like 6 games on your computer.
What was 96? God,
it was a while ago. I would play Free Cell, and there was literally like 3 levels or 3 deals that I ran into that I couldn't beat. Every single other one I beat just because my brain figured out the pattern to make it work. It's just like whenever you figure something out, it's so much easier, and it's just kind of like away from thinking.
Yeah,
I think I was playing bass. Patterns.
That's much cooler than either Free Cell or Sudoku.
No. You should see me, because I was about to say it was either like I see that when I play bass. My first thought was mine's Sims, not SimCity, Sims, and just building the perfect house. Fuck the Sims. As soon as they move in, I quit the game because I can't be bothered with them. They annoy the hell out of me. But I will spend 8 hours of a sunny day inside, curtain sharp, just being like, right, that house is 6. So this room has to be 6 by 14. And rotate this. I just build it. I love it. I'll sit. I'll do the cheats. So I can just build the biggest 8-story mansion you've ever seen, and then that's it. That's my game done. That's all I done with Sims.
So it's like your Minecraft.
A little bit, yeah. I probably should get into Minecraft.
And then you're just done with it.
Yeah. Start a new one, start a new sim, randomize, build house, cheat, build.
My wife always referred to, like, when she played dolls as a kid, she was like, I love setting up the house. And it was like time to play with the dolls. Like, yeah, who cares about that? It's about setting up the story. And so, but we use that as a metaphor for like the first act in any story is like setting up the house. And they're like, okay, or like the show, like, man, that pilot was really great. You want to watch the show? Like, nah, I got it. Like, I know what the show's about. I don't want to see it carry on the story. Like, I want to see the house. I want to set up the house. And
I've actually done that before. Wow. Yeah, I relate. Yeah, you just watch the first episode. You're like, okay, that was good. It's kind of like a movie, and then you just don't continue with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the show, but
some pilots suck. And then it takes like 3 or 4 to get into it. And it's like, okay, now it's getting good. All this setup is like, okay. You did a shitty job.
Pilots. So I come from a like movie making and TV background. So like the pilots are notoriously like, all right, you have to introduce all the main characters, you have to set up the conflict, and you have to show the format for the rest of the show. So if it's a murder mystery show, it's gonna they have to solve a mystery in the show, introduce all the characters, and and then the second episode is when the story, like the through line, can start. And so the first episode is just setting up the house. And
this first episode is gonna be the thing that catches your attention. No one's gonna, if the first one is shitty, no one's gonna watch the second one.
But they're all kind of shitty. But Friends
the budget's
notoriously disliked by audiences, and they were like, I think in the whatever you call it when you like talk to the audience, focus group with the audience, whatever Courtney Cox's character was the most liked. They were like, all of them are unrelatable. Only Courtney Cox is like the good character. And like the initial focus groups of Friends, and they decided to run it anyways. So like. Yeah, you never can tell like that. Yeah.
How many shows have we seen come out and they've not been that good for about a year or two, and all of a sudden they catch on in their 3rd or 4th season after the characters and a lot of the plots have been refined and a lot of the scenarios have been refined around those characters.
Well, not much anymore. Like you get like half a season, and if
it's hit or miss. The money's got to be there, right?
Yeah, it's funny because like Firefly. Like the levels that Firefly was
too soon, Matt.
No, right? Like Firefly or the Tick, the first one. Like the audiences they were getting now, or they then were like, oh, cut it off. Like Arrested Development, cut it off. And like, but now terms are like they got 3 million. Like, yeah, it's a hit. Like, then if they were like, they barely broke 4 million. Like, cut it off. It's no good. So yeah, it's like the games like the rules have changed. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about TV right now in Friends.
No, I thought it was interesting. I actually didn't. When Friends, I just don't see any It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
It was
If you want
terrible.
to relate that into a book, how many people come out and say, I'm going to release a book or a trilogy of books to up to 3, and I have a goal. I'm going to sell this amount. If I go over that amount, I'm going to continue on the series. But if you don't, you quit it and you go to something else. Sometimes it takes years to get a following behind some of these series and some of these kind of like, I don't know, this I want to call them a cult following, but in order to build an audience behind them. It takes time sometimes.
It
Let's
does.
face it.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? My book, The Britain's been out 10 years, and it's only really seen, I would say, substantial success. It's had its successes before, but really become kind of, sticking in the top-ish charts of Amazon sometimes in the last year and a half. So it's like 9 years old, 10 years old, and then suddenly seems success. Yeah.
Are you
I mean,
serious? What?
Yeah.
It just like came up.
It was a bestseller last December, and then through to January, and a couple of, I think it was dragons, dragon and mythological creatures category on Amazon, and the Nordic fantasy categories, a couple of other things like that. So yeah, and it just exploded after 9 years. It's almost on the 9th anniversary.
Right?
Yeah.
You never know, right? You could have a book out that sold less than 25,000 copies for probably 5 years. And all of a sudden, Ashton Kutcher picks it up, reads it, says, this is amazing, tweets out the name of your book, and it reached 2.5 million followers.
Yeah.
And 100,000 of them ran out and bought the book that weekend. Like,
that's it.
It very well could happen.
Look at Game of Thrones. I mean, Game of Thrones was published back in the 90s? Is it 96?
96, yeah.
96, yeah. And I mean, look at now, I can't do math. Who cares? Years later. A set amount of years. It's a long enough time later.
But
it took a long time to catch on.
Yeah, I was looking. So the latest book is on world building, and I will not talk about that. But one of the things I'm looking at is the kind of exemplars of fantasy, and other than Star Wars and Harry Potter, which took off immediately, like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, came out 17 years after The Hobbit, which oddly enough is 17 years after Frodo gets the ring, and then he actually goes on the journey in the book itself. But
I love that so much.
Yeah, that breaks some rules right there. But it took 20 years for Game of Thrones, for Lord of the Rings, and such to enter the mainstream consciousness of this is fantasy. It was tested out by the genre, and then eventually
what the hell's that, Andy? Sorry.
Anyway.
Water going on.
That's
there.
a rule. Someone drank water. Everyone drinks.
Oh yeah,
Water?
Stevie, you got to drink.
You got to drink.
I'm almost out.
This is an empty beer that I keep here for that.
You know that if you run out, Stevie, that's another drink. You got to drink it.
Oh, and if you're in space as well, you got to drink.
Oh, drink.
How did we forget?
The only one in
Is that
space.
really one?
Well, I was like, maybe he'll be in space, but maybe he won't. And so Ben came up with that rule.
Awkwardly, we all turned our kind of what is this? Our green screens on, and we're all in space. And then we thought this is really awkward. So turning out to the party all wearing the same costume. So we turned it off, and then
Thanks a lot. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to go get a refill here in a minute. So we had games today.
Yeah, so Angel came up with some never have I ever questions courtesy of all of the readers, and unfortunately most of them are vindictive people who follow my books and want me to get drunk. What is wrong with all y'all?
Yeah, but you have so many that it just you can just check them all off. It's not being vindictive.
What are you up to now, Andy? How many books are you up to now?
Books?
Because we should take a shot at how many books we have.
Yeah, y'all are fucked. 26 published. I think. Awesome. I think as soon as I finish this next one, that's 30 that I've written.
God, and that's including the sci-fi.
Wow, that's a lot.
I'm literally like half.
Yeah. So counting
14 now.
Counting the sci-fi. Oh no, wait. No. It's going to be 31. I've already finished 31 because this is book 6 of the sci-fi series.
The productivity.
Wow.
But literally the only thing I can control in this chaotic time. If I didn't have that where I could just plunk my ass down and write every day, I would go absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we have time to concentrate on it.
Yeah. All right, so Angel, with no further ado, read us these questions. Now, the rule of the game is that if we have done these things, then we have to drink, right?
Yeah, if you're guilty, you drink.
All right. And if you're not guilty, well, yeah, you'll have another chance to drink because there are 62 questions.
Actually,
There's so many.
That, but it's all right. We don't have to get to them all. And I made them in nice big letters because my vision is I'm already blurring in and out here.
we got 30 minutes, 62 questions. Go.
Let's do it.
30 seconds apiece. Go.
Yeah, some are easy, some are more. Never have I ever created a monster hybrid of 2 or more animals or beasts.
Are these like
Drinking if we have.
If we have, we drink.
If you're
right?
guilty of it.
Yeah, so
Created a hybrid of anything.
like 2 animals from Earth.
Or whatever.
Angel.
Or mythological.
Okay.
Or
Okay. Oh yeah.
Technically,
Okay.
you fucked up something just for the sake of
dragon.
it, then you drink.
I gotta go get more. I'll be right back.
I would just like to point out technically, because I write with Angel Hayes, if I'm drinking, she should be drinking too.
But I have 2 to go on too, so I have
Yes.
technically more ways of
But if I'm
guilt.
drinking because it's our series, you should be drinking too.
Oh yeah. Sounds good.
Well, I didn't. I thought you were going to ditch there for a minute, and you didn't.
What? All right, am I waiting for Stevie?
Nope.
For him?
Lost Andy. Oh, he's back.
Oh, Andy just in. Oh,
He's uncharacteristically still.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a
My-
Starbucks measuring jug.
My
that's okay. We already had our rotor die earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
Who's going to tell Stevie that's the rule that he has to drink?
Oh, as he gets up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just got up though.
Nobody
Yeah, but-
noticed.
He wasn't here to see it.
He wouldn't notice it anyways.
Yeah. Oh,
What's the thumb game where we just had to put our thumb on like a table or something? We'll just do that, and he's the last one to get back. You guys ever played that? I feel like I don't know if the UK has. I wouldn't say more drinking games, but we are. There's a quote in
Weirder?
the comedy series in the UK where it
I
says
feel
like,
like
the
the
English
UK
drink like they want to die.
yeah, absolutely has to have more drinking games.
Yeah,
The boat games. Like this is
by
Yeah.
races. Yeah,
boat races. Sorry, boat races. Yeah, that was like, what is this? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's
we
good,
just
yeah.
a drink, and you have to drink the pint. Just go, like, hurry up.
What are boat
We just
races?
have- oh, you stand in a line of 2, like almost like ranks. So you've got maybe 10 people in each line, and you have to drink sort of along. So that person has to go against that person. They drink their pint as quickly as possible, and as soon as that person's done, that person can start. So it's almost like a relay race along lines with alcohol. Real fun. Yeah. We make binge drinking an art. We really do.
And it was at least years ago when the pubs closed 11. They've changed that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
11?
Like years ago. Obviously, I'm dating myself
That would
here.
be really early.
Like, yeah, it was like you got to be done by 11. You're like, well, it's 10. Let's get a full night of drinking in now, like before. Yeah, and
That's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
get
a lot
that.
of times still close at 11. I mean, obviously we had the 24-hour license things, 24-hour license things years ago. So yeah, a lot of places stay on a lot longer.
11
great.
wouldn't work here in Canada. I mean, my God, we're the only
Ooh.
people I think that decide we want to go drinking tonight. Well, what are we going to do until we go drinking? Let's go drinking. Like we do pre-drinking. Like
That's it. Yeah. We just got some ridiculous rules. We have like, I mean, if you play gentleman's rules or whatever, you can have things like no pointing, no swearing, only last names. You drink with the right hand in the first half of the hour, the left hand in the second half of the hour. Titles can even get involved. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
nice.
Where's Steve?
Sorry about that. Is Stevie still not back?
Drink. Like,
You know what?
it's a drinking game. You're supposed to have everything beside you.
Do
Is he
this.
fermenting
Just,
the
just
alcohol?
say when he comes back that you ask 5 questions and you know he's guilty of them all. So you got to take like 5 in a row.
Plus the getting up one.
There
for-
you go, Slade. It's your turn to make him drink, so you run with that one.
Oh, he's gonna blank.
Oh my!
Oh,
What the hell, Stevie?
Drink if you look like Jesus.
he can't hear us yet.
Jesus was
Yeah, I
cold.
know. That's awesome.
Is it cold in Austin?
Jerusalem. Oh man, this is great, Stevie. No, you
All right,
muted
dude.
yourself.
No one can hear you.
You're muted, Steve. Nope, still muted.
I
There
think
you
the
go.
drink is hitting.
Okay, you need to have your drinks.
Oh,
beside
you're gonna
you,
like
Mike.
this next part.
You need to catch up, Stevie.
If any of you need wine, just let me know. I got you.
Keep it beside you.
And is this allowed? Are Jesus jokes allowed? And look,
All right. You got up to get a drink, so that is a rule. You have to go and drink.
oh shit, yeah.
Plus, we did like 5 questions while you were gone. So-
Rapid fire. Or you don't have to.
No.
There
We
goes
already know
Andy.
you're guilty. We're moving on. So you just need to take 5 drinks.
Whoa.
Catch up.
Whoa. Okay. Guess I'm not going to work tomorrow. Wow.
Good thing this will come out after you call in sick tomorrow.
Yeah, sick. I just gotta go in sick. That's just how it is right now. You're just going in. Yeah.
All right.
What is the question?
What's the
No,
next?
So
you
Angel,
do your 5 and then I'll go. Like
Wait, my 5.
Yeah,
you missed 5 while
Okay.
you were gone.
Oh, well, where are they?
No, we're gonna keep
Oh,
moving. You
I
just
thought I
need
had
to
a
take-
list. I'm like, okay.
Take on.
Just
Okay.
just catch up with 5 drinks because we already know
5
you're
drinks.
guilty.
Okay.
There you go.
or one long glug is acceptable.
No, I moved my tongue 5 times.
You moved your tongue.
That's what he said.
That's weird.
How did you move your tongue then?
You gotta. That's like a goal.
Drink is
Isn't
not
like
cunnulous.
5 gulps.
I make it a science. I've done this before.
Oh, you make it a porn. That's what you do.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, Angel,
Wait,
continue
hold
with the questions.
All right. Never have I ever worn. Oh crap! I already fuck it.
What?
Drink if you fuck up the questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
and then curse afterward. That's 2.
All
right.
I'm not gonna like tonight.
Never have I ever not worn pants while writing.
Wait.
Ooh,
Double
I get to
double
not
negative.
drink on that one.
Whoa!
Never-
Tough writer.
Can someone put this into the affirmative for me? Never have I not.
Have
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 I
you-
worn pants?
I have always
Have you
worn
been in your
pants.
underwear?
naked or underwear.
Oh,
Have you ruined your
100%.
underwear?
Like I should.
Finish the
This, why do you think I've got the screen just here?
I'm not even wearing pants right now.
Like Ben's actually wearing a crop top.
That's it. This stops just below my pecs here.
I don't even have a torso. So yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to see in your little spacey, and you can be doing whatever you want.
As long as it's green.
I get
All
like
right.
Floating in space.
you just see like this green stick start appearing. Like hold on, like this, like look.
No,
The gooch troll.
Look at it.
It's getting weird.
It's a poop bag. Hey Andy, can you see me?
Can't see.
That's kind of trippy, huh? Okay,
Oh,
Andy,
fuck.
will you please let us move on, Andy? Thank you.
Angel, carry on. Next question.
Never have I ever taken one of my own fantasies and made the character live it.
I have
Oh.
not.
Oh yeah.
Well,
wait.
Now
Second-
that doesn't
I have
have to
to-
be dirty, but it,
I have to say that pretty much all authors live out their
Yeah,
fantasies
yeah.
vicariously to some
Yeah,
degree
we're
or
gonna
another.
lie as if
So
we're
we
not
all have to
drinking.
drink.
Yeah.
Basically, each of my protagonists is me. So
My character killed her dad. What does that say?
And that's why Stevie wanted to write the Wicked Whip,
I love
which
that idea.
definitely was not fantasy BDSM like it sounds.
It was Andy was the one who brought that to my attention. Like, oh yeah. What else do
Someone
I say
actually-
day to day life? That
Someone actually had to tell him that the Wicked
clue.
Whip sounded a little bit too the wrong kind of fantasy.
50 shades.
I can't believe that. Like, I'm so innocent. I'm so innocent. I'm Jesus.
you and your gooch troll are really innocent.
Oh, Angel, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
I just sold a product to a Lisa Gooch. Oh my God! I just call Lisa Gooch now. It's Gooch. I'm not joking. Someone in Texas has that name. That poor soul. Like if I would have been in high school, like I'm not really a bully, but I would have destroyed her, and then I would have made fun of her.
Ah.
That was a sexist joke.
Did you make like a little dick pic on your package too that you sent her?
Oh, I would have. We would have been kicked off Amazon so quickly. Yeah, it's already bad that the product we sell is phallic. So, all right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angel. Ben, will you please be quiet? Thank you.
So good.
Never have I ever named a character after someone I hate.
No.
And
Who
2
haven't I
drinks
named?
if you made a point to kill them off.
Oh God.
Double drink.
How many do I do for each character?
You know, I don't know if I've ever named someone after someone that I hated, but
Technicality,
man,
I
did I come up with
or
that
named your, like-
character persona.
Okay, sorry.
That
That's
was
what
like
I meant. Maybe
everything I
I should have
hated. Yeah, all right, I'll drink for that. You create that asshole character that you hate so much, even if you don't give them the same name. Ooh. One of the characters, I have a character in my new series called Jonas Alex, and he's this loud, obnoxious radio host that everybody knows exactly who I'm talking about. But he's, it's a tongue-in-cheek reference, so I'm going to drink to that.
Dude, I knew a guy named Jonas, and he was freaking annoying. And I remember my brother got in trouble for playing INS because he was Hispanic. And like we had this gate, and he would make the kid go stand outside the gate and not let him in, like we were America. He did that at a Catholic school and thought there would be no repercussions.
Your brother played immigration services with
Yes.
a poor Mexican kid.
Yes. Well, he was a bully, but A was also 180 pounds in 5th grade, so no one messed with him.
Oh my God.
So we had this 4th grader moving this 8th grader outside the fence and just standing there like this. It was horrible. Yeah, I still give him shit for that.
Racist thing I have ever heard from a kid.
My parents never got mad at us for a lot of things, but I remember my brother A getting in big trouble for that one.
It has to be Texas.
It has to be Texas, and very, very South Texas too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right. Never
Carry
have
on,
I
Angel.
ever written about an anti-hero.
Ow.
I think everybody on this podcast has to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of a point to some of these questions.
Oh,
Drunk.
this is one of those ones aimed at me.
This is a
It's
rigged
not aimed at you,
fuck
too.
it.
Like, everyone took a drink.
What?
Okay.
This is done. Let's get
There's
fucked
never
up.
been a hero in any single one of my books, and if there has, they've lasted 2 pages before they die. Oh man!
When your character shits into a strong box on page 1,
Yes.
you know he's not a hero.
Yes.
That was one of the greatest opening scenes ever, because you go into it and there's this sense of urgency to it, like shit's about to hit the fan, that he has to get to something, and then you realize that he's literally going to take a shit in a lockbox, and it was just like, what am I reading? It absolutely hooked me the rest of the book, hands down.
Yeah, I
Thank
had to
you.
turn back and go back. I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? Like, is this really happening?
It's the word splatters. It's the word splatters in that entire scene. And for anyone who hasn't noticed, the start of Chasing Graves, first chapter, and my main character's a thief, and someone's pissed him off on a long voyage. So he's a master thief, breaks the lock of her room, shuts the door, starts breaking her lockbox, and decides to basically shit on her very important manuscripts and documents and jewels, no doubt. And so, the scene opens with Coucher literally just hovering pretty much with his arse in his case. So I was going to say, I just wanted it as like a real low gate. This is what you want. If you can deal with this, then the rest of the book's going to be fine.
It starts out like you're expecting him to, be running away from the city watch, or sort of on a time crunch with something, and then just this hard left pivot. That's what the fuck. It was probably the best opening scene that I've read in a long time.
I'm glad you liked it. I wrote it in maybe three quarters of the way through. So I'd figured out the ending. I was writing, the climax, and I was like, you know what this needs? It needs that scene to start this all off. Because I think I wrote a joke later on that kind of like it comes back to it, and I thought, this could trace all the way back to literally page 1. Perfect. One of those moments where the book does the writing for you rather than you putting these things together.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you liked it.
I've got a full drink to empty, and we've only got about 15 minutes. We can drag it on a little bit if we're having fun. But Angel, take it away with the next question.
Never have I ever given a character a joke name like Seymour Dix.
Oh,
yeah.
Like a play on words.
Yes.
I have Officer Crotch.
I have not. I have not.
Crotch.
Dixon bag.
I got a refill.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I think every character of mine is like that almost.
Your
Kind of
C
Dickensian,
is
isn't
called
it?
the hepatitis C.
Yeah.
Stevie, I'm pretty surprised you haven't named someone Seymour Butts or something.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
That's a good one, actually. I do like that one. Everyone knows it. It's great. You need to do that.
Everyone expects it.
Now, if you use it like Old English and then make it like Seymour Butts in Old English and like take it up a notch, then you get extra points.
Seymour Butts. That would be
Seymour
wonderful.
Butts from The Simpsons.
Butts. Looking for a poke in the little whiskers.
We totally did
All right.
research for that
An
one.
English accent.
Oh, then, yeah, we got an English guy here. Should be doing it.
That's great.
Weird.
All right. Never have I ever created a drunken character.
No, yeah, we have done that.
Me.
I feel like because we're all on this podcast talking drunken characters.
All right. Never have I ever written a tavern brawl scene. Bonus if you've ever been in a tavern brawl in real life.
Yes.
Oh,
Crap,
and
I
the
got
bonus
finished.
drink, right?
That means you have to drink twice.
That
Those
means-
Why am I
usually
cheering?
tavern.
Why am I cheering for drinking
Yeah.
twice?
That's every day in London.
Wait, does it count if the brawl was outside of the bar?
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's
still
bar
a
adjacent.
bar.
If you're moving from one bar to the next bar.
Well, that's 2 brawls. That's 3 drinks. Oh man. I think I've seen that in London. It's just like people fighting out, just fighting into another bar.
The whole tumbling.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant.
Never have I ever written a point of view scene from the opposite sex.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Well, I know. I'm trying to get you drunk here.
Fair enough.
But clarification, is that first person or third person?
Dude, it's both.
Okay, I'll take it.
You're still doing it from a point of view if it's she or if it's I. You still got to get into that head and
Was that your male or female?
Was that
I feel like you need a drink just for whatever the hell that noise
Yeah.
was. Like
I know.
that's a drink.
Good.
There's real fear in her husband's eyes. Like, I'm going to be holding her later.
all right. Never have I ever felt a sort of loss after completing a series and then having to move on to like a new world with different characters.
Every
Oh
fucking time.
yeah.
Look at that.
Well, not every time. Sometimes there's a series or a story that's just so good that you want to move on to the next one. But often.
I've written a lot of things for other people, and when they're like, that world is done, like, yeah. like,
Exactly. Some worlds
your
you're happy
stuff.
to leave behind.
Yeah, I'm out.
You should, so, yeah.
I know, right? Like, well, thank you for delivering the product. This is for you, and this is for you as well. Yeah. But let's get that check in the mail first.
So, you're like, what did I? Yeah.
Never have I ever given a character bigger tits to make her hotter.
Ah,
Nope.
you're so woke.
I got
Not
graphing.
one
I would
person?
approve it.
Ah.
Leave it to the girl.
I gave a goblin big tits
I could goblin.
Do I need to get
in my series.
Do I need to
you
get
need that
Jesus
as
back up
Why?
here?
Can we
Who
know
are you
why?
hoping to find that attractive?
Oh yeah. Who?
Like,
Who?
No, it's an old joke because of a
who is gonna find a little green wart-covered goblin with big tits attractive?
I
Like,
didn't say she was wart covered. She's a skinny little.
So goblins are obviously.
I
mammalian.
included her for a reason because our readers did one of those name things, like name your like dirty elf name, and she had Smooshy the douche canoe or something like that.
The what?
Smoochie the douche canoe.
Red face douche canoe. I think that's what it was. So I'm
What
like,
was the what was
I
the
gotta put
question?
this in. Pardon? But yeah, so I wanted to put that in, and
Drink.
Moving on.
never have I ever had a villain kick an animal or small child.
Oh man, that's the key way to make everyone hate them.
Oh yeah.
That is like insta hate.
But if
I
they
never
kill the
have.
child without kicking them,
Oh, kill the child? Is that one or no?
is that worse than kicking? Because it's
Well, because I've had a villain kill the child, but I've never had him actually
well, that
kick the
should
child.
count because this question
All
was
right.
actually you made this.
That's fine.
I don't know if you made this not to be guilty.
I've never I've never had a character kick or like a pet or a child on screen. I've never needed to have them do that to establish their villainy, but I have had them kill a child.
Yeah, I've done the kill a child.
Never have I ever had a villain give a gloaty "Behold my evil plan" speech.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
book, baby. Every book.
You're supposed to avoid them. You're supposed to steer clear of those. But every once in a while, it's okay, especially if you sort of lean into it and make it something sort of ridiculous. Like the character knows that that it's ridiculous, or they say, tell me your evil plan, or the villain's like, I'm going to tell you my evil plan now. You kind of lean into it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's how I
like
do
juxtaposing
it.
it. Yeah, there's
Sometimes
one
you don't
that
even
I
have the villain say that. You could do a POV switch and switch to just the villain bragging to his own underlings about what he's got planned. So now the reader knows what's got planned, but yet the characters don't. It's still going to be a surprise for them too.
I love juxtaposing it. I was going to say there's one book. I'm not going to tell you which one it is because I don't want to be a spoiler. But there was one scene. I'm not going to say book. There's one scene I wrote where someone is giving the "You have never seen this coming. You don't know what I have planned. You've been such a fool." And someone just kills them accidentally in the middle of it. Literally just trips. And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, this is awkward. And then the speech is done. Then they're dead. And it's like, I don't know what to do now. I just thought it was hilarious to juxtapose.
Never have I ever pissed off a reader and received an angry comment about someone I killed off.
not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, Ben's drinking.
No, book 4 is coming out soon.
Never have I ever laid awake at night wondering what my friends or relatives will say about my torture scenes or something else.
That question was for you, Angel.
Yeah, my mom. When she
come on, drink then.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this.
It should be a double drink for getting caught.
What did she do? What did I miss?
Oh, I forgot to drink.
All right.
Never have I ever made a dick joke in my book.
Not me.
No, we've done that.
God damn, I'm missing
How
out
can
here.
you not make dick jokes?
Never have I ever shown a sex scene in my books.
God's sake, Angel.
No.
Like with detail?
Oh, you don't have to know how long it was. Just some description.
If it had the word
Yeah.
throbbing, it probably
That
counts.
should
Okay,
be the
so
bonus.
I've
That should be
never
the bonus.
used throbbing. Does that mean I
If
don't
it had
have
a
to drink?
fleshy meat pole.
Engorged.
Turgid.
Oh, well played, sir.
There's a wealth of those words. I like the phrases, and I just my favorite
Oh,
one.
we gotta do that one of the days on the podcast. Is do the sex scene.
Oh my
drinking
god,
it,
yeah, bad
where
sex.
every time one of those words come up, you drink. Stevie and I did that at a conference. We were so hammered, it was insane. This was a conference. Unfortunately, that was all like 90% of them were romance authors. So every single book there had sex scenes, and we were blitzed out of our brains, and on white wine on top of it. It was a bad day.
Oh.
I love how
Some
everyone
of them go all out.
universally agreed terrible drink to binge is white wine.
Man.
Everyone's like, no.
My cousin
man,
gave
that's
me a
great.
book. She's like, this is from an indie author. And then she showed me one page. She's like, doesn't matter where you open. Like, look at one page and look what they wrote. And I'm like, is this normal? And I'm like, well, I don't read that kind of book, but fuck, man. It was a lot. I'm like, oh, wow.
The best phrase I've ever seen in a book like that is the word squish mitten.
Ugh.
What?
Just gonna leave that there.
What?
Squish
Was it hyphenated?
No. It was
This
just
is
unhyphenated.
important.
Squish mitten. Squish mitten. I'm not going to elaborate. Let's just say it was a slang term for
I'm in.
some genitalia of some kind.
I'm adding that.
The Squish Mitten Chronicles. From season
God
12.
dang. That's great.
Never have I ever received sass for not finishing a book yet.
I just got it done today. Yeah, that's ironic.
It was us. Knowing we'd ask you this question.
Story.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was on Facebook. Some Jonathan tagged me, and it was this lady wondering where book 2 was, and I'm like, I haven't even finished editing half of it yet. So I know I gotta freaking like after this, it's editing time. So, but
Right
it's a good thing though. It's I have to.
Good luck with that, Stevie.
Yeah, I was supposed to edit after this, and I ain't editing now.
Did you really schedule that? Come on.
I really have to. It's
Nothing's
unfortunate.
going to be productive after this.
You're going to have more spelling mistakes.
All right, then. I was sick and tired of my internet dropping. So, Regine, please tell Rebecca that I said this for her benefit. I jacked myself into a hardline connection to the server.
Are you still talking about the erotica conversation, or?
Absolutely.
Drink just for saying the word jacking.
Absolutely.
Oh, fuck's sakes. All right. Never have I ever let a review get under my skin.
Yeah.
I knew Ben was going to drink
review.
for that. I like that little video you did of your whole
the 1-star review.
drinking and
Those are awesome.
I mean, I did that all 100% jest, but I mean, even every now and again, you just have a little look, even if you don't mean to, at your 1-star reviews. And I find, I mean, less so these days, because I mean, the more books, the more readers and things like that, it's the majority holds sway over individual opinions a bit more. But yeah, you sometimes find yourself looking at 1 stars and just being like, you don't do anything, don't type anything, you just leave it there. You just privately just.
I got a troll review on my latest book that people are thinking it's someone else's book, like I ripped it off, and so it's just like, well, great, troll reviews are fun.
Done.
Never have I ever been disturbed by my own writing.
Oh God, yeah. Was that it? No, I wasn't the only one who drank there, was I?
No, I absolutely.
You're all good.
And the rest of us judged you. We judged you.
We judge you. Stevie, I think you're doing something.
I was going to say, what do we want to say?
I
scene?
promise.
Never have I ever had someone call me a motherfucker as a result of something I've written. That was from one of the readers.
I had a video sent to me of someone finishing the last page of my last book before this, where everybody dies. Literally, it's the premise of the whole story. Like, motherfucker, getting up and standing from. So I will happily drink to that.
How did they do a video of that? Did they read it and then read it again, kind of thing? Like, what do you do? I'm reading the last thing of the book. I don't know what my reaction's going to be.
I don't know. I don't know the mechanics behind it. I just know I got the video and it was awesome. It made me happy.
It's probably the person who made up that question.
100%, absolutely. The person behind the camera was the one who came up with the question.
Never have I ever written a giant metaphor for modern politics.
Every book.
Man, these people think we're so much deeper than we really are as fantasy authors.
I always try it. It's either religion or politics. Not going to get into either right now, but yeah, I always try and fit one of them in somehow.
Poke the bear a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never have I ever made a dirty joke in my books.
Yep.
I swear to God, I'm going to go blind.
I'm just surprised how little Matt's drinking right now. Like,
I'm very upset by this myself. I have a Mai Tai waiting over here in the wings, and I have not gone through to the other drink yet.
You must have really like.
I only have 4 books, so I'm
know,
like a little
but
baby compared to everyone else.
He writes probably really, really clean, really erudite, intellectual level fantasy.
Exceedingly erudite. No. Or also, I've never been disturbed by what I've ever done. You could have gone further.
I just don't care.
It doesn't mean it's not dark. It just means your level for it is it's lower or higher than
my parents. I broke them long ago. They've never been disturbed by what I wrote. They lived with me through high school. The writing stuff, like, oh, he killed someone. Oh, that's nice. But it was in a book this time, right? Okay.
This time.
I am so glad my parents do not read my stuff, because my mom has this face that she makes. We called it the Grieved Face, where you could just see that like she's struggling to hide the pain of whatever we've done, like keep it bottled down deep, and it's this very specific face, and she would have that face every single page of every single book that I've ever written.
It's that I'm not mad at you, but I'm just disappointed with you.
Absolutely.
That's so much worse. That is the worst.
Yeah. I'm like, where did I go wrong?
My parents have made a career out of that, and I have no one else to blame being an only child. I'm it for them. Like, oh.
Nice.
Yeah, my mom read my book, and I'm like, oh, books to read. I'm like, can you read the YA one? Like, not mine.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. I'm like, you'll like that one, because she's like, oh, I liked it, but this one's a little grimmer.
Yeah.
All right, we've got time for 5 more questions before we have to cut off.
Never have I ever made a character shit themselves.
Yep.
Ben?
No, but that's a good idea.
Oh, fuck, I got it in my eye.
Whoa.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, God.
Oh, Stevie, you suck.
Whoa. I didn't have to say anything.
Oh, shit. Okay. Never have I ever acted out my own scene before writing it. Like physically, like get up and walk in it.
Probably,
Ooh. You know what? I don't have to think for that one. Finally.
Okay, Matt, you should just be drinking just because.
Backup drink.
Yeah, I actually got this sword so I would understand the mechanics of the character, how they're fighting
Oh,
with it.
fuck, I've
Is
done
that
that.
Never ever have I written.
And she's drinking too much. She can't talk clearly.
This is only my second drink.
To those of us on the podcast, let us celebrate this important moment
With
when
a drink?
Angel was too drunk to speak clearly. Yes, with the drink.
Cheers.
Jim.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Oh, okay. I have kids. I don't drink very much.
Tonight, guys. I'm telling you.
I'm just waiting for the first spit take. Whoever's like going to do the first spit take wins.
Spit?
So, the classic like the spit take. Why not? I don't know.
Oh, if
It's
it
a
happens,
thing.
it'll probably be me. Never have I ever written something that offended someone.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like to some degree, every single one of us is going to offend someone at some point in our author careers, and that's totally okay.
Even if you write it in the book description and it's the first sentence. I had that first filler I wrote a while ago. Like because I twisted the commandments for in like 2011.
How dare you?
But I wrote it. I'm like, the whole thing in the first sentence of the book description is that he did twist it. And she's like, I really liked the beginning, but I just can't do it. You're twisting it. I'm like, I know. Like I laid it out right for you if you're going to be offended, but it's okay. Never have I ever not included a scene or a joke because it wouldn't work, but it ended up being a reader favorite. And we're talking like Nicholas Ames. Like he had his pool scene. He almost didn't put it in. And I'm glad he did because he's fucking hilarious.
I'm still trying to parse that sentence.
Okay.
I suppose the shit scene would actually, yeah. I mean,
Did
I
you
almost
create
didn't
a
put it
scene,
in.
but you almost didn't put it in because you didn't think it was going to work? But then it ended up being a reader favorite.
No, because I don't have any readers.
For fuck's sakes.
Oh, dear.
Never have I ever been told by my editor that I took a joke or a scene too far.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Stevie, just drink.
Yeah, I had to get rid of an editor because of that.
She didn't understand. This is
No,
the way it's
and-
supposed to be.
Everything she wanted to take out, that was usually what I got emails about. So yeah, and she also did she got her degree in feminist studies. Like, it was just never going to work out. It was never going to work out. Nothing wrong with feminism.
Anything Stevie writes.
I had to read carefully to make sure she didn't change anything. I don't know.
Never have I ever dressed up as my own character.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
I'll drink just because I dressed up as the hunter.
Yeah.
Never have I ever written something that I wished I hadn't because it limited the ideas that I had for other books, like George R.R. Martin making the kids too young or him killing off too many characters.
Yeah.
That's double fisting it.
Yeah, I regret everything that I've written. It's like, oh, that could have been so much better.
Then you can just finish that
Thank you for that.
because you're so behind.
Thank you for that.
There you go.
All right,
I think I got
last
some-
one, Angel. Make it a good one.
Hold on, I gotta look.
Just gotta read.
I have to be able to focus
The word.
on the
words
letters
have to
in
start
front of me.
moving first.
I have so many.
We just have to do a part 2.
Part
Yeah, you could do a part 2, a part 3.
All right. I
Tonight,
can't see very much.
Not tonight.
he says with trepidation in his voice.
Tonight?
I like to think I sound slightly more masculine.
That's me adding
At least
feelings.
50% more.
I don't know.
Just choose one at random.
Just pick one,
I
hon.
know. Just hold on. Okay.
All right,
It
here's
is hard
one.
to look at. Okay.
All right, I have never had a main character's name misspelled in the final product.
Oh.
Here's to that.
No. Not a main character. Very, very,
Yeah, no,
very minor character. Yes, but not.
I know. I was going back and looking through for book 4. I was looking at book 3. I was like, hey, what was his name spelled like? I looked at it, and the first time I mentioned him in book 3, misspelled. And then everything out that it was spelled correctly from then on. I'm like, his first appearance. It had been out for months. No one has said anything. So
I know.
no.
I had a reader who pointed out, but a whole bunch of people read and didn't say anything. But it's because it's Killian, so it's ILLI, and I forgot another I, so it flows so easily that's not noticed. And then finally he's like, just so you know, do a search on this. I'm like, oh fuck. Really?
How many were there?
I don't know.
In writing my Silent Champion series, I think I misspelled the word lieutenant 11 different ways.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh, yeah.
There's
11
no
different
correct
ways.
way to spell lieutenant. It is wrong no matter what. And
11
especially-
different ways.
And
I don't
when
even
and
see how you can do 11.
the old British way with the F in it. What? There's no
That's
F
the pronunciation, Matt.
It's wrong, is what it is.
Oh, you mean lieutenant?
God, no, that's not a word.
Lieutenant. It absolutely is.
How did that happen, Ben? As the British expert of our podcast, how did they get left from Lou? How did that happen?
French.
Usually, I mean, I'm no historian at all, but usually if you trace most things back, it's because the French did it and we hated it. So we just went,
So he said, fuck you, we're doing it our own way.
the imperial metric system was because the French invented the metric system. We went, fuck no, we're not having anything French. This is obviously when we were at war with France. I've got no beef with France. But yeah, this is when we were at war and we went, no, fuck you, we're going to have the imperial system, the empire. And then now it's...
That just suddenly makes so much sense. To be perfectly honest.
You can trace it back to a lot of things. It's we were just so stubborn and we just said, fuck you, France. And we're not doing this. And therefore, we're going to do this for the next 300 years and make people ask questions about it on podcasts.
That is awesome. Well, we are officially over time, but if you enjoyed this podcast where we all get unfortunately very drunk, drop a comment on YouTube or Facebook. Let us know that you want us to do this more. And I've already come up with a few games. Angel's come up with a few games. Hopefully we can come up with some ways to make this a regular thing. So if you want to see it, drop that comment. You know you want to. Thank you all so much for coming and hang out with us on the podcast. Stevie, I'm so glad you're not doing this because you would probably fuck it up given how much you've been drinking.
Yeah, I'm almost out of it. So
It's gotten very quiet and very.
To be
focused.
fair, I am like one wrong syllable away from just totally messing up this whole outro. So, with no further ado, everybody go check out MD Presley on Amazon, Ben Galley on Amazon, Angel on BookFunnel still.
Yeah.
All right. Slade sometime soon.
Somewhere with Angel.
Woo! Stevie, don't bother with him.
don't worry about me.
Check out his new sci-fi series, I Am Mac.
Yes, check it
It's-
out.
It's supposedly awesome. I haven't read it yet, but
Supposedly 5 stars,
Supposedly?
Andy.
no, Stevie,
Air quotes.
supposedly
5 stars.
Supposedly.
And that's it for this totally wasted episode of the Fantasy Fiends podcast. See you on Thursday night. Good night. Now everybody make weird